Good morning. I would like to call to order the joint meeting of the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education and the Board of Regents. We will start with our roll call, please. Yes, Ms. Blanchard, would you like to do your roll call?
Regent Adley, Regent Chavez,
Here.
Regent Daly,
Here.
Regent Keating is absent, Regent Leach,
Here.
Regent Lindsay,
Here.
Regent Markle,
Here.
Regent Martin,
Here.
Regent McDonald,
Here.
Regent Meyer,
Present.
Regent Steele, Regent Screen is absent, Regent Temple is absent, Regent Wyatt is absent. We have a quorum.
Oh, I didn't see him. Yes, the BESE roll call, please.
Bessie Member Bowman,
Present.
Bessie Member Davis,
Present.
Ms. Evans, Ms. Absent, Bessie Member Gordon, Bessie Member Holloway,
Present.
Dr. Jones is absent, Bessie Member Lewis, Bessie Member Orange Jones, Bessie Member Rock,
Present.
Bessie Member Thompson,
Present.
Bessie Member Roche.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Members and regents, we need a motion to approve the minutes of the December 7th, 2016 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Do you guys need clarification on who made those motions? Who made the second?
Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Is there any objection to the approval of the minutes? Hearing none, motion carries. Our next item is for consideration of the 2017 AP Program of Distinction as presented by the State Superintendent of Education. Can I get a motion to receive? Thank you, Ms. Holloway, and a second by Mr. Davis. Superintendent White?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to pass off this presentation to my colleague from the College Board, and thank you so much to the College Board for being here. Today we're honoring those schools that have performed at the highest levels in advanced placement, and I thank you so much for being here today. Thank you.
Please identify yourself.
Hi, my name is Raphael Curtis. I'm the Director of State and District Partnerships with the College Board.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I would like to start by thanking the members of BESE, Superintendent White, Commissioner Rallo, the Board of Regents, also for allowing us an opportunity to speak on your agenda here to recognize the worthy schools and districts that have excelled in advanced placement programs. I would also like to thank Ken Bradford, Tristan Guillory, and all of the members of the Board of Education, the Department of Education, that work behind the scenes as collaborative partners. I would certainly like to thank Dr. Tarika Cobb, Gus Wales, and all of the folks working behind the scenes of LASFA for their time and contribution to this initiative. In 2005, when I began, a little bit of a personal story, in 2005, when I began working with the College Board and left the classroom, the AP program, to work for the College Board in the AP program, there were so few students taking AP courses and exams that the reports that we would deliver on an annual basis were not very significant. The numbers and the demographics did not represent the students of Louisiana geographically, ethnically, income, or otherwise. In 2012, however, this board and the Louisiana Department of Education introduced policy and resources in support of advanced and early college programming. With regard to advanced placement programs, the number of students participating and successfully completing courses exploded. Since 2012, the number of AP exams taken has grown by more than 500%. Let that sink in for a moment. And the number of students graduating with qualifying scores has grown by more than 300%. There's still work to be done, but this is truly a success story. Credit for this success is shared by policymakers and education leaders across the state, but the true champions are the teachers that are rising to the challenge every day of expanding opportunities to students of every measurable demographic. Today's recognition is the culmination of lots of planning and thought around the idea of how to spotlight these schools and districts that have led the way. The districts and schools honored today have done the important work of effectively resourcing, supporting, and promoting these programs to students of all backgrounds. Our challenge was, as a committee, as a planning committee, was to identify a creative way to not only recognize, but to capture that enthusiasm and commitment. The success of these districts around the state and quite frankly outside of the state of Louisiana. So we thought a video might do the trick. It's portable, it's easy to digest, and it's something that we could share broadly. We simply asked honorees, and this is the story behind the video that I'll share in just a second. We simply asked honorees to submit and record selfie videos, and we had no idea what we would receive in return. In fact, I imagined getting cell phone videos that were shaky, unclear, and with poor lighting. But we were overwhelmed and floored with what we received in response. Students and schools and school leaders and district leaders worked very hard to produce these videos. Again, as you'll see the videos, please pay special attention to the time and the setting in which these students are presenting in and the teachers are presenting in, because this was all due to their hard work and commitment and really dedication to this initiative. So without further ado, I'd like to show the video.
AP classes have really been valuable to me in my high school education and career.
AP is great for students. It provides students the opportunity to get a glimpse of what college classes will be like.
I really love submerging myself in these harder classes because it teaches me the challenges that I'm going to face later in life.
When you first get in class and the teacher introduce you to the subject that you're taking as AP, you're going to see that, oh, okay, I thought it was hard, but now I see that it's easy.
Yes, it is hard, but it's completely worth it because it prepares you for college and everything that college entails.
AP classes really seem to differ from regular classes in the pace and the depth and breadth of knowledge that you're exposed to.
You end up really knowing the material that you're learning.
Do critical thinking in AP. It's not just surface level.
It forces you to learn how to manage your time, do your best all the time.
You're going to develop writing skills, and that's crucial for no matter what field you decide to go in college.
You get value from the dedication and discipline it takes to go through all the coursework.
You really have a chance to groom yourself and challenge yourself because you're surrounded by these students that are just devoted as you are.
It makes you feel better because you know, like, you struggled through the whole year, but you did get something out of it. You did know the material.
I've seen AP change lives.
I've seen many more students willing to try AP.
It's not closed off to just high-achieving, high-academic kids.
AP can be a course for anyone who wants to do the work.
It's changed their perspective on how they see themselves.
Now I feel more comfortable with talking to like strangers and explaining myself and a tremendous amount of confidence over this year.
It's amazing to see that maturity, that self-discipline, and that self-worth that comes from realizing that I can do this. AP is a wonderful program.
Thank you. This is only the beginning. With the impending score release next month, AP scores will be released in July. We hope to expand the planning committee to include stakeholders that would like to join us in improving this initiative in the future. So without further ado, I'd like to move to the presentation stage of this agenda item. So as I call your name, please step up. My colleague, Mr. Ken Bradford, to my left, will be presenting awards. Okay. I'll start with the district level awards, and these are the honorable mention districts. St. Bernard Parish School District. Just a brief note, the honorable mention section is for students or schools that have increased the percentage since 2012 in the number of scores of 3 and above. And 3 and above in AP is a qualifying score. Our next district is East Baton Rouge Parish School System. And this district increased its raw number of exams, resulting in scores of 3 or better in 1 year. This is the district. Our next honorable mention district is St. Tammany Parish Public Schools, and this is for the percentage of scores of 3 and above. Now we'll move into our high school section. For schools that have school level awards at AP exams with scores of 3 or better over the last 5 years, the first school is Benton High School. Our next high school that increased scores in 1 year since 2016 is Benjamin Franklin High School. And I'd like to add another note about Benjamin Franklin. It was the only high school that was an honorable mention in 2 categories, for percentage of scores increased by 3 or better and the raw number of scores increased by 3 or better. Our next honorable mention high school, and this is in the area of percentage increase of scores of 3 or better over the last 5 years, and that's West Washita High School. extension. And our next school, and this is in the area of 2016 growth over 1 year and participation, and this is Booker T. Washington High School. So we'll move into the award section, and our first district is Livingston Parish Public Schools, and this is in the area of percentage increase over the last 5 years. Our next district, and this is for increasing the raw number of scores or qualifying scores since 2016, and it's Orleans Parish School District. Our next district is Zachary Community Schools, and this is in the area of percentage of scores of 3 or better. Our first high school honoree, and this is in the area of increasing scores of 3 or better over the last 5 years, is Chalmette High School. Our next school, and this award is for increasing the percentage of scores of 3 or better, is New Orleans Center for Creative Arts. Our next high school, our honoree, for increasing the raw number of scores, that's total number of scores of 3 or better, is Baton Rouge Magnet High School. Our next school, and this is in the area of increasing participation amongst economically disadvantaged students, and this is Ponchatoula High School. And last but not least, our final high school, and this is increasing exams participation over 5 years for economically disadvantaged students, and that's Ouachita Parish High School. Thank you.
Think brevity, Mr. White.
No question. To members of both boards, first of all, I want to thank the College Board for their incredible support of advanced placement. Also, we will be announcing the CLEP results in the next couple of days, which I think will be similarly will show remarkable progress around the state. And I want to thank Commissioner, you and the institutions of higher learning for their support of AP and CLEP. We have record numbers of kids that are getting college credit while in high school, and so I thank both boards for their support of these initiatives. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Members, Ms. Voce.
And I would just like to echo support of these programs. I know in my particular district, we have I've consolidated high schools with a very large high school, and we have a very diverse high school. We also have approaching an 80% free and reduced lunch rate, so economically disadvantaged. And over half of our seniors, our graduating class, are earning AP credit toward college, CLEP, and dual enrollment. So with those three avenues to attain college credit while in high school, it's being extremely well received. Students of ours who would not have had those opportunities before, we are providing for them. And these three initiatives together make up a very vital part of what we're doing on the high school level to prepare our kids for college and careers. So I just want to thank Mr. Curtis from the AP program, as well as the people from CLEP and then our colleges and universities for dual enrollment. So those three together make a very powerful, powerful program.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments on this item? Okay. Is there, Dr. Rollo, did you have any comments on this item? Okay, thank you very much. Is there any objection to this item? Hearing none, motion carries. Our next item is a consideration of a report regarding the implementation of the Educator preparation policy, and so we need a motion to hear this presentation.
Madam Chairman, I move that the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education and the Board of Regents receive a status report regarding the implementation of the teacher preparation and certification policy revisions approved by BESE at the October 2016 BESE meeting.
Thank you. And Mr. Garvey signaled that he seconds that motion. Superintendent White.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll make brief comments now. I'll certainly ask Dr. Rallo to as well. To members of both boards, I want to thank you very much for your continued work on the partnership that we started years ago regarding ensuring that teachers who are being trained in our colleges of education are getting as much time as possible to do that training in the classroom rather than as practitioners rather than simply in the theory-based environment. Under your leadership, we have both passed been supportive of and supported policies that allow for teachers to spend a full year residency while they are seniors in college so that they graduate rather than us wondering whether or not they have been effective. They graduate with us having validated that they have in fact been effective educators as part of their college curriculum. For a state of our size, this is unprecedented. Really only one other state in the country, South Dakota, has done anything even reminiscent of this. And this should really take teaching in another direction toward a fully professional model in the same way that architects, lawyers, nurses, doctors, and other bachelor's requiring professions have. So I'm thrilled about the initiative. As part of this, Dr. Rallo, Dr. Jean Burns, Assistant Superintendent Hannah Deach, myself, and others were involved working with Shan Davis at BESE to create a task force that would figure out how do we measure the effectiveness of this initiative over time. We engaged an external task force that was led very intentionally by somebody who did not have an immediate stake in the Louisiana game, Dr. Robert Pianta of the University of Virginia, who led a diverse task force over the course of a 6-month period to produce a recommendation to the BESE board regarding how the implementation of this over a 5-year period would be measured. And the result is a system of measurement and reporting that later today BESE will consider. The report includes 3 simple questions, or asks 3 simple questions. 1, are programs in the colleges and alternative providers of teacher training, are they engaging in best practice? 2, are the teachers who graduate from those programs actually effective in the classroom when they become full-time employees? And 3, are we directing teachers toward rural communities, toward communities that have predominantly low-income students, and are we training teachers in math, science, and special education? Those 3 simple questions are issues we'll be reporting on and refining over time so that we know that this sweeping initiative to prepare educators in the classroom has been effective. Dr. Rallo and Dr. Burns have been with us every step of the way, and so I asked Dr. Rallo if you could please provide comments, and I want to thank you personally for your support. It's never been an easy thing, but it's always been a productive thing, largely because of your leadership. So I thank you so much, Dr. Rallo.
Appreciate that, and good morning, members. Let me also echo Superintendent White. We've had a great collaboration this past year between his staff and my staff, and particularly trying to focus on making sure that senior year in high school really achieves the type of outcomes that all of us are desirous of. And some of you may or may not know, I grew up in New York City, and both of my parents were school teachers in the New York City school system. And so I've been always involved with the notion, as Superintendent White has pointed out, to create really a profession for that K through 12 environment. And that's why we're so supportive of the teacher preparation program changes that he has mentioned. And one of the things that's exciting about them is that we're going to be able to engage in research, conduct research over the next year to ensure that we're assessing accurately what our institutions of higher education are doing to make sure that new teacher is effective in the classroom, and as importantly, to make sure they view a career as more than 2 or 3 years, but truly a career. The second thing, and then Carolyn is handing this out right now, we have also been working very, very closely with the Department of Ed and our board to sign data agreements that will provide the teacher prep programs with data for program improvement. And what you'll see is the last week, 2016, the teacher preparation data dashboard was released, and next week we'll be releasing 2017. And we are truly looking at both transparency and accountability, and we just happen to pick one of the institutions, but you will see these are all on the websites so that everybody, whether it's in the public or the school districts, can go out there and look at the types of things that we are tracking. You have an example in terms of that, passage rates, licensure requirements, completer rates, so that once again we are using data to inform the types of activities that we're engaged in. At the end of the day, and I think I speak for Superintendent White and myself, at the end of the day we want to make sure that both the teachers and the students that they're working with get the best quality preparation for life, and that's what we think we're doing. So again, thank you for your time.
Members, do you have any questions? Does that conclude?
It does. I would like to just take a moment of personal privilege and just introduce both boards to my executive intern who is sitting behind me, Mr. Taylor Fletcher. Taylor is a rising senior at Louisiana State University and a graduate of New Orleans Public Schools, and I wanted to let all of you know that he is emblematic of the extraordinary promise of both our K-12 system and our higher education system. So I'm looking forward to a summer of working with him and hope that you'll get to meet him along the way as well. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. He has a pretty quick pace, Mr. Fletcher. Board members, do you have any other comments or questions? Is there any objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion passes. Oh, I'm sorry, they're comment cards. Okay. So we have Dr. Keith Corville that wishes to speak, Dr. Keith Leger, and Dr. Don Schillinger. You may go ahead and come up, please.
Good morning. Dr. Keith Leger with Stand for Children, retired educator, father of 4 Louisiana public school graduates, and also a proud graduate, 1993 graduate of the LSU College of Education. Go Tigers. First, I want to commend Superintendent White, Ms. Hannah Deach, Ms. Sarah Strickland, and Dr. Burns for all the time and effort they've put into this policy. Much needed. As a former school administrator, there were several boy, it sure would be nice moments during my 11, almost 12 years as a school admin. And one of those many, boy, it sure would be nice moments was observing student teachers coming to our school in January and then finishing out that year, and then them getting their own classroom in the fall, in September, having very little experience with the first days of school. And one of those, boy, it sure would be nice moments when I was there was that, you know, if prospective teachers saw the whole year, especially those first few weeks where classroom management processes are put in place, it sure would be nice. And here we are, we have that opportunity. The other, boy, it sure would be nice moment was guaranteeing that our prospective teachers would be under the tutelage of a highly effective mentor teacher, rather than just who's available, who wants to do this. And both of those, boy, it sure would be nice moments are now being addressed here. You know, we owe it to our kids to put the highest, highly effective, highest qualified teachers in the classroom. And these policies that are in front of you here are a big step in the right direction to doing that. I urge that you support this policy, and once again, thanks to the Department of Ed staff and Dr. Burns and everyone else who had input on this.
Greetings. Dr. Keith Corville, Executive Director of the Associated Professional Educators of Louisiana. So on top of everything that Dr. Leger said, you know, bottom line is we have heard nothing but positive things about this entire program from both teachers and students. You know, the fact of the matter that this work, especially combined with the grant opportunities from the department, means paid internships for students, paid field experiences, and paid mentors. So we are actually encouraging greater achievement in our profession. This is wonderful. This is a model for states. And I really want to commend, because I know it was a little difficult at first to get everyone together, but I really want to commend Dr. Rollo, Dr. Burns, Hannah, Sarah, everyone at the department as well, and on BESE and Board of Regents for getting together and for working on something that is clearly in the best interest of students, pre-service teachers, and teachers. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Don Schillinger. Thank you so much for the support and the work that you all are endeavoring in right now. I've had the privilege of serving as a Dean of the College of Education at Louisiana Tech University, and also had the privilege of serving on the task force that was mentioned earlier by Superintendent White. In addition to supporting the recommendation made this morning, I just want to personally and professionally speak to the importance of the research component of this. Both Commissioner Rollo and also Superintendent White, in the end of his conclusion of his recent comments, was speaking to some questions that need to be answered. And I believe the research component can help us to do that. Also, the research component, I believe, can also provide us with a way to disseminate information and scholarly activity. And I just strongly encourage that. And thank you for your support of this morning.
Thank you all very much. Chairman Lipsey, did you have something?
Good. Thank you, Madam Chairman. I too would like to thank Dr. White, Dr. Allo, for the marvelous work between the two boards. Dr. White has been a great pleasure to deal with during my term as chair of the Board of Regents, and so much has been accomplished. Dr. Burns and the staff on the side of your board, Dr. Buffy, it has been remarkable, and we've come so far with our dual enrollment program and moving forward in the state to get these kids educated in high school. And it's been remarkable work, Dr. White, and I congratulate you and your board. Thank you so much for your cooperation. It's been a real pleasure working with you, and I hope to see you continue this work and move forward with all the objectives that you've set forth. So thank you for your cooperation. Thank the BESE board for their cooperation. It's been a remarkable partnership of our two boards that I can see in the last 2 years particularly, and I hope we can move forward with it. Our board members, if you would, we will start our board meeting exactly 15 minutes after the adjournment of this meeting.
Thank you. And to add on to what Mr. Corville said about this being a model for states, for members and regents, I just wanted you to know that I was asked to facilitate a panel of practitioners in our state, along with Dr. Amy Vessel from Louisiana Tech and Hannah Deach from the department. And states truly are interested in learning more about the work that we're doing. They were really fascinated with the residency and how it's not just a year of student teaching, but the residency is truly being transformed into an experience that is inducting people into the profession so that they start learner ready on day one. And so I'm really proud of the work in Louisiana, but also excited that it can be a model for other states. So it's definitely something we should be proud of. Having covered all our business, this meeting is now adjourned.